Okay, I'm re-picking this back up. I started it and I was like, you know what, no, this is gonna be great, good time. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna have a fun time. This might be a shorter video for just like a singular book. There is like a sequel. I think there's a second book out and like a third book coming out, but I don't think they're the same characters. I don't think it's like a direct sequel. I don't know yet. But I am we're gonna have fun, and I'm excited for this adventure with you guys. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna restart from the beginning. I'm gonna start with prologue. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Literally, the first page of chapter 1. I can't. How? Here's the thing. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, because like, I'm not saying this is a bad book, but I'm finding it very funny. At the very least, it's kind of reminding me of when I read Blood by Karina Halley. What the frick was that? Black Sunshine. When I read Black Sunshine, that was my first book of this type and my first smutty book, and it was fun. It was campy. I laughed. I cringed. It's not like literature. It's not like the whatever nice things you say about books insert here. They're fun times, but also like I hate it. We are following our girl. We don't know her name yet, but she shows up to a nightclub in the wrong attire because, oh my goodness, it's poppin'. Then she notices, I glance down at my dress. The neckline is too high and the hem is too long. It's almost midnight and the club is pumping. I unclip my dagger from my thigh holster and use it to shear off a good 2 feet of fabric. Then I slice down the center of my neckline, freeing my breast from captivity. Well, almost. A lace bra stops me from completely exposing the world. Like, oh, okay. Why? Okay. I'm sure, like, if you, you know, it's fine. It's fine. If you show up to a club with a high neckline, I'm sure no one will, you know, be mad at you, but I guess I need to start cutting my shirts or something. It's just so wild. Why? I promise that I'm not going to just, like, be interjecting constantly. I am 2 pages in, but she is walking up to this guy. He's sitting on like this throne. He's got a gold chain. He's like, you know, he's working in the club, and perhaps it's my confidence carriage, devilish outfit, or God-given good looks, but the dancers part like the Red Sea, and when I hit the opposite end of the floor, I feel my target's eyes groping me. The confidence. She did also refer to the women dancing in the clubs as either hookers or sugar baby wannabes. So I don't know if she's a girl's girl, you know, but you know, this doesn't feel like it's really her setting, her place, but yet she walks it. She has the confidence. She owns it. She knows what she's doing. It's wild. She's so funny. Why are you like this? Okay. So she walks into this club. She's like, this is on me. Oh, sorry. I'm about to watch movie. She walks into this club, right, and she's like, I have things to do, give me your seat. Takes a seat, sees her mark come in, and you're like, oh, she an assassin? What's going on? And we learn that she is a part of an organization of like kind of nuns in a way, but like not really, because like obviously she's like a sexy girl, sexy little badass mafia girl. But she is basically hunting down this guy because the wife is like, my husband's acting strange, and she's like, ah, demon. We just learned about these, but it must be a demon. What do you mean you just learned about these? What does your organization do? So now she's about to hunt down her first demon. Cool, fun times. Hello, I'm back. It's later. I'm only 3 chapters in. Honestly, I'm on the 3rd chapter, so not even 3 chapters in. Had to take a little pause for life and hard, bad days. Things are good now. Things are better. We are on the up and up. So, ow, fuck. So now that things are getting better, I'm going to finish this book hopefully today, and have a good, fun time. Yes? Where we left off was a character whom we still don't know the name of. I don't think I know her name. But basically, she left the bar after fighting the man that's possessed by a demon. And we learn just like the tiniest of little bits about this like nunnery, abbey, sanctuary, place organization, and how they just recently discovered that demons are real. And there's been proof. So she fights her first demon, and now she's coming to terms with, like, hell is real. That means everything else is real. What does that mean? Oh, goodness, that would be stressful for me, too. But then she gets puked on by him, and then she cuts off his hand because he has, like, a tattoo on his hand, and then she goes back, takes a taxi to the Abbey, and we meet the rest of the girls that are a part of, like, her assassin group. So basically how it works is this organization has the nuns, which are, like, the good side of religion, the holiness, the all good people, and they keep quiet but know about the other side of the Abbey / nunnery, which is the assassin. They protect us, the sinners, the secret sanctioned assassins, seductresses, and general bad doers of the sisterhood, all in the name of a better life for women, all in the name of God and the Mother Mary. From Joan of Arc to Margaret Thatcher, a clever woman is behind much of history, or a man who's made history. So we're trying to give feminist vibes, but also she's slut-shaming women for dancing in a club. It's a weird tone. It's a strange tone. But then we start meeting the girls. Oh, and we also, because I've read ahead and, like, I know things that you don't know yet, heavy trigger warning on, I don't know if you would call it abuse per se, but the women they physically have to repent. The priest whips them to, like, repent for the sins of killing people in the name of God and feminism for this organization. I don't really understand still. Anywho, though, with that said, we meet the other girls. So she comes back and all of her stuff is moved from her room and they've been condensed. So now the girls are on one side of the hall and the other side is completely empty and they're sharing rooms. So she's going door to door, figuring out which room she's going to be in. And this is when we meet the other girls in the area. There's the blonde American sweetheart sinner, Tawny, who I think is my favorite so far. And then there's leather torture devices and crumpled cigarette boxes would be Raven. And then Leia is a Chinese American brunette who pulls a gun on our character when she walks into the room. And then there is Mercy, the team leader, who we are introduced to her as she is naked in her bed. She's a buxom redhead, pouting and making noises at a laptop screen, and then throws a purple eggplant at our main character. And that's how we meet the girls. So, woohoo! I'm gonna now continue reading. I'm on chapter 3. I know what's, like, to come, so just a little brief rundown of just ridiculousness. So, basically, a bunch of men are coming to help teach them about the demons because they're like, oh no, demons are real, we don't know anything, and we're actually not cut out for the job that we were supposed to have. So there's a bunch of scholarly guys of different type, and I'll introduce you to them when we get there, but they're basically moving in. So yeah, she's gonna get she's covered in puke and she's gonna go repent though really quick. So I just want to, like, skip over that because that's not fun to talk about with you. Okay. I can't not share these things. It's just too funny. So, we've met Prudence, the last of the sinners who are, you know, there to wine, dine, and 69 the demons and devils and baddies. But Prudence is the oldest sinner and is mid-40s, grumpy as hell, and a recent assault survivor. Also, I should mention, all of them, except maybe Prudence, don't know enough about her, but, like, the rest of them are all orphans that got dropped off and were never picked up, and so they became sinners because that, I guess, makes them inherently evil, and therefore evil fights evil. I don't... The implications. And now we have the He-Man Woman-Hating Club, which is Wesley, the scholar, Dominic, the actual saint, Crisco, the priest, the Monsignor is an old white geezer who's been ordained his entire long life, and Zeke is the new guy investigating demonic activity. So those are our chaps, those are the men. If you can tell, Wesley is the POV we are now in, which means he is undeniably the love interest, which is hilarious because he literally starts his chapter calling these women very derogatory, not nice names, just very woman-hating. But then we have Zeke, who's all like, womanizer. It's a weird, weird situation. But we've met the boys. Puke-stained and all, severed hand in hand, meeting these boys. These Italian Vatican boys. Also, it's been made clear to us that these boys do the same things that the girls, sinners, do. But because they're women, it's like bad, sinners, terrible. Whereas when the men do it, they're like the saviors, holier than thou. You get the sitch. Feminism! So we're getting our meet cute, where she gets out of the shower and, you know, just chilling in a towel. Crows try to come in and attack her, and Wesley comes to save the day with his card magic. And then they're like, I don't think you would really call this banter, but they're fighting in the bathroom. After he did grope her, basically, like, while saving her. Weird. But then she's explaining how he's being rather sexist. Surprise, surprise. And she's explaining, like, how the history of religion, you know, has had its mishaps with how it treats women. And he says some outlandish things. And she asks if what they do here is child's game. You think that murderers, rapists, psychopaths we kill should be allowed to have power? You think that they have the right to abuse the weaker sex? And I just have questions. Does this female woman also think that women are the weaker sex? Or is she, like, projecting what men who are sexist think about women? The wording of things and the tone of everything makes me think that these women also hate women, but are also trying to fight for women. I'm confused. I'm confused. 1 and 2 half interactions, and here's what Wesley has to say about Thea. But around Thea, I feel like an imposter, like a clumsy teenager with 2 left feet. She sees right through my act, and it makes my anger rise. But you've had a solid 1 conversation with her, and like 2 half interactions with like other people around. Like, what are you talking about? Jumping back in. Taking many breaks. It's been a wild week. Anywho, I'm hoping that this will be a reluctance allies to lovers situation, just because of what we know so far. So Thea is trying to figure out how to translate the newly magically bound and found book of, I'm so sorry, my religion is not great, Mary? Probably Mary. The disciple that was like Jesus's right-hand woman. This has a lot to do with her because, you know, feminism. So, of course, you can't forget, it's all about feminism. So, she's trying to translate Mary's book that, like, was weirdly bound by magic, because Wesley had half of the book and she had another half of this, like, manuscript. And, like, magically infused. She's been trying to translate it, but she doesn't really know all of the words because not all of it is, like, ancient Greek or Hebrew. There's, like, other weird languages. But Wes kind of knows that stuff, and so she's trying to figure that out. Also, while he's teaching, like, the girls about demonology and so on and so forth, and, like, the symbols and stuff. And she's got a symbol that disappeared on her shoulder, which we saw in their little, like, meet cute, and it's, like, a demon being able to possess you type of thing. So I don't know what that means for our girlie, but it can't be good, right? So I'm hoping that because they have, you know, the sexual tension is tensioning for them, I'm hoping that they'll, like, reluctantly work together to translate these things and figure out what's going on. and we'll get more action out of this. We've had one action scene so far. It's just kind of been a little bit slow getting into, but I like their tension. Like, it's fun. Their banter's cute and stuff. Like, why they hate each other so much, I don't know. It's like really trying to force the enemies to lovers, but they're not enemies for any reason. They just don't like each other because of their sex, which imagine setting up a romance book and you say, I really want to explore the topic of feminism. That's really important to me. I really want to make a romance involving feminism. What if I make a he-man woman hater club called the Saints and a she-woman hating man club called the Sinners, and then I just make them kiss? Like, what? What a concept. It just seems a little outlandish, but I'm not having a bad time. Like, I'm laughing a lot. It's fine. It's bad, but like, it's funny. And it's not like so bad that like DNF rant video bad, just like interesting bad. I don't know how to explain it. I don't have these experiences very often. This is a new one for me, having like a, I don't even want to say it's like a hate read because I think I'm enjoying it too much for it to be that. So I don't know what this experience is, but I'm enjoying it, but I hate it at the same time, okay? Okay. Oh, Lee got out of the bedroom. No. Oh my god. When you have a little like summoning ritual party to summon like the Prince of Hell because your friend is possessed. What a fun time. And then you meet him. It's one of those things, like, I don't think I want to repeat the words on the internet where like friends and family can watch this channel. Like, there's some things that I shouldn't say, but I don't want YouTube to get mad at me if I show you the words, you know? So I think if you're super interested, I hate it here. Reluctant allies. Good afternoon, y'all. What the heck? What the heck? Why are they kind of cute though? Like, what's going on? It's funny because like the book really doesn't do anything until 50% in. That's when it's like, oh yeah, we're going on this quest. We're gonna save our possessed friend. Like, it's gonna be great. We're gonna find this relic. Everything's cool. Let's get on a private jet. Let's get out of here. And so that's when the story really begins, because it's so much setup leading to it. But this is not a very long book. And now I'm 70% in. And we've had maybe like 3 steamy-ish scenes, like getting there. And then they finally have done the deed. And it is hilarious how many times this author is able to write religious anything into smutty scenes. Like, I'm baffled by it. It's hilarious to me. I'm not a super religious person, but I love learning about religion. And so there's a few things that are definitely missed on me just because it's not really like my thing. I don't know everything about it, okay? But now we've been learning a lot more about Wes's backstory and what's been going on with him specifically and how that's impacting these two. But I kid you not, from like the second they go on the trip together, I would say, they're going on this adventure. It's just the two of them. Everybody else is still at the Abbey. And we're speed running a relationship at this point. Like, the way that we went from them hating each other, quite toxic. They both have a lot of trauma and issues, but it's not necessarily like a bad thing. It's just trauma responses within relationships, and like, you know, it happens. I can see good things come for them if they work it out. But oh boy, we are speed running in the sense that it's like so quickly from hate to love to hate to love to hate to love. We are like on a weird love again. And it's getting so sad and deep, and I'm just sitting here like, ow, wait, this isn't good. Wait, this is kind of sad. But I'm also like cackling just at the way it's going down. I'm trying not to spoil things too much in case like you want to read this. Even though like I know I've said a lot of the things, but I'm not like giving all of the specifics, you know? So hopefully if you are interested, you can still go enjoy. But it's just a wild time. I feel like I'm getting whiplash from these characters. But I'm 71%, which means that we're getting there. Page 213. It is so sad now. I'm feeling emotions. I'm just, wait. Also, why spectacles? My dog is trying to catch a fly. Why spectacles? I don't understand that. Like, why can't we ever say glasses? Are there different? Ableist take. Are spectacles and glasses the same thing? I don't know. I don't know these things. In my brain, they're the same. So why have we never called them glasses? I just don't get it. I don't get it. This is like very modern times and I don't get it. Why? So I finished. Huzzah, go me. I have a lot that I want to say and yet like nothing at all, you know? I don't want people to think that this is a bad book. I don't think the writing is exceptional. The dialogue is cringy at best. The characters are more so caricatures and just kind of like fit a stereotypical mold for a character. Like Tawny is like the blonde American pie sweetheart who has like a weird deviant side and can be like evil at times, and then we have Mercy who's just like so hypersexual because of her trauma, which is like a real thing. That is a valid thing, but it's a weird character because that's all we know about her. Like that's her one personality trait. But because we have like these small little snippets of each character, we don't really know the characters. We don't really get to know them on a deep level. They're kind of just there and you're just kind of with them. So like I'm somebody who I can easily care for characters and like the situations that they're in and like feel like if something sad happens in a book, I'll go, oh, and then I'll move on. Versus like a story that I'm emotionally deeply attached to, like I'll cry for them, kind of. The two coins, you know? Two sides of a coin. But I don't think this is bad, objectively. I think it is strange, though. So, I'm gonna say, like, the overall plot of this book, which will be a spoiler thing. I will have, like, the timestamp of, like, if you don't want crazy spoilers, you can just skip right over, and then we'll go back into, like, the non-spoiler conversation. But this story is simply just religious trauma, patriarchy, sexism, all because of one demon who centuries ago has like a vendetta against men and therefore wants to divide the sexes against each other because there's only men and women and we have to divide them because men are inherently just evil and bad because God did a bad thing. Or Adam? No, sorry, it's Adam's fault, not God. Sorry, everybody. But because Adam did something, Lilith is like, all men suck, and now I'm going to cause this great divide. And so I can't tell if this story is saying feminism is bad, because I feel like this is going to get really political and sticky, but like the conservatives often are like, oh, feminism is really bad. Women can't have rights. And so I don't know if this story is trying to say that feminism is bad because it's further dividing the sexes, or if it's saying feminism is the key because we all should be equal, you know? And so I do find it weird to be like, yeah, so patriarchy exists because of an evil demon lady and she wants revenge on men. It's just a little weird and a little bit gray. This story is it's 300, like less than 300 pages, so it's rather short, and so it's going fast. You're really like speeding through the story, so there's no time to dive into deeper conversations. There's no time to really tell me what the author's intent might have been. Like, what are we actually trying to say about feminism and religious trauma and so on and so forth. There was no room for conversation in this. It was kind of just take it for face value. I think it's nice because, like, we can have a lot of discourse on a book like this, but the story itself isn't saying anything. There's no nuance in it. It's just like, this is the reason for the trauma, I guess. I think that, like, the overall integration, like, obviously we don't like reading about religion. This won't be for you, obviously. I feel like that goes without saying. But if you don't mind that in your stories and you just take it as, like, assassin, almost kind of nuns fighting demons, it's kind of, like, fun. You're like, oh, cool, assassin nuns and demons. Like, the premise is cool. The execution, meh. The next book, I think there's gonna be 3 in the series, which apparently there's a series before this one, which is the Deadly 7 series, which is a complete Fated Mates paranormal romance series featuring the genetically modified heroes you met in this book and their siblings, like Marvel, but make it spicy. So I saw a book on Kindle when I was just like loading it up, and it was like the Envy book. So I think you get like the 7 deadly sins, so there might be 7 books, and that feels like a lot, but that's okay. I haven't read that series. Will I? I don't know. Will I continue with the series? I also don't know. It doesn't feel like something I would really want to pick up and continue because I don't care a whole lot, but also this book, The Sinner and the Scholar, was very like enemies, reluctant allies to lovers, whereas the second book will actually be following completely different characters. So in the second book, we'll be following a girl, Layla, who we barely see in this book, and Wesley's friend, Zeke. And they are, I don't know if childhood friends is quite the right term for their situation, but we're gonna go with that. They're gonna be more childhood friends to estranged to lovers, which I think is like, I like I like friends to lovers. What can I say? That's my trope. So part of me wants to give it a shot, but also like you go into these stories for just like a fun little hee-haw time. Like it's not something to be taken too serious, but I can see the issues with it while still enjoying it for what it was. So that leaves me with, how do I rate this book? I don't know. I had a good time. I laughed a lot. I laughed when I shouldn't have been laughing. It's just so outlandish, some of the things that are happening. Like, we go from nuns fighting in a kitchen with, like, throwing cutlery at each other to, like, a man being crucified in the same paragraph, and I'm like, what's happening? Like, it's just major whiplash all the time, but, like, in a funny way, even though it shouldn't be funny. I know that. I don't know what to tell you. I feel like it's a solid 2.5 stars. Like, it's just right, perfectly down the middle. I'll probably rate it a 3. I don't think it was that bad. I think it, again, has its issues. I would have loved more, like, nuanced conversations in it, for it to just be longer, more character depth. Like, there's a lot to be improved upon. But going into this with, like, the mindset of this might just be closer to erotica with plot, because you're not really getting a whole lot, then, like, I can see the appeal to other people, for sure. Yeah, I think I said everything that I wanted to say. It's left me, like, feeling a little funky and weird. I'm like, well, you know? Is this the feminist telling that I wanted? Certainly not. But do I find the conversations of religion and femininity and feminism and equality to be fascinating? Absolutely. And when that's explored in a story like this, I find it interesting and fun. I don't know. I don't know what that says about me. We're not going to deep dive into that one. But I've read it. I've done it. What a time. What a time. What a time. It was interesting. I'm not mad at my experience. Definitely took me a while longer to read this than I thought, and it got me through a hard week, so I can't be too upset about it. I hope this video was at least fun. It really was just me laughing at outlandish things. But, you know, sometimes we take a detour in the content and we just do fun, silly little things, because why not? So, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, there's like a snake on the cover, there's a cross on the cover. Yeah, leave a cross. I don't know if I want that in my comments. Yeah, leave a snake. You can leave a snake for the snake that made Eve sin. Religion is wild. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys in my next video on Sunday. I hope you're having a great day. Bye!